We've been following what's been going on with the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines. And a few days into his presidency, you might remember that Donald Trump signed that executive order telling government agencies to remove unnecessary roadblocks and barriers to the construction of the pipelines. It didn't really do anything, but it was a bad sign that the president was supportive of pipelines, which we shouldn't be building. Donald Trump also guaranteed multiple times that if and when the pipeline is built, it would be built with American steel. He actually said this during his joint address in front of his address in front of a joint session of Congress recently. Remember this?
This took place while I was getting ready to sign. I said, who makes the pipes for the pipeline? Well, sir, it comes from all over the world. Isn't that wonderful? I said, nope, comes from the United States or we're not building it. American steel. If they want a pipeline in the United States, they're going to use pipe that's made in the United States. Do we agree?
You tell him, Donnie. That was actually from CPAC. He also said the same thing during that non-State of the Union a few weeks ago. Now, I already told you that those were empty promises, okay? Because the steel for the project has already been supplied, and the steel is not from the U.S., so it's not getting built with U.S. steel if it is indeed built. This is something Trump should have known, or maybe something he knew and just chose to lie about it. Trump's a liar. That's not the story here. Here's the story. As soon as the American Health Care Act flopped last week, people started emailing me, and we'll talk about that later in the show. People started emailing me saying, David, this entire AHA flop is distracting from the fact that Donald Trump and the State Department have issued a presidential permit to the energy company TransCanada, giving them permission to start building the pipeline. In fact, Donald Trump did one of his ostentatious pomp and circumstance signing ceremonies around this. Take a look.
Today, I'm pleased to announce the official approval of the presidential permit for the Keystone XL pipeline. TransCanada will finally be allowed to complete this long overdue project with efficiency and with speed.
So that's true, right? Trump signed it. But it still might not happen. But I was looking into more of the details, and I realized the entire "it's going to use American steel" expectation is actually nonsense to begin with. The steel specifically is a distraction in the sense that we shouldn't be building pipelines. But it's an interesting conduit into another aspect of this story. The pipeline is obviously not going to be built with American steel, even though part of the pipeline will be in the U.S., right, which is why U.S. regulations are relevant here. This is a foreign-owned pipeline being built by a foreign-owned company to supply fossil fuels, mostly to be used in other countries. The fact that it's raising American resources is sort of a side effect. This is really a foreign project, Pat. So not only was Trump lying or uninformed, even the idea that, hey, very little of this project, other than using our natural resources, is actually going to benefit financially or in terms of energy people in the United States.
I really don't think it's a bad idea to try to push for using American steel, especially because the project's actually going to take place within the United States.
Right.
But you have to understand that that would violate international trade law. So I think he was trying to use that as sort of a bargaining chip. But he didn't realize this would violate NAFTA. We can't do this from the beginning. And being the president, you should know that.
Oh, there's the list of things Donald Trump should know but doesn't is a never-ending list. And furthermore, there might even be a conflict of interest when it comes to Trump pushing for the construction of the pipeline, because the fifth biggest shareholder in TransCanada, the company which would be building the pipeline, is Deutsche Bank, who is owed $300 million by Donald Trump from his business dealings. So this is all just building the case that all along the build with American steel thing was not only nonsense, but it continues to be a distraction. And Trump signing this also doesn't mean that this pipeline is going to be built anytime soon. The issue now, and it's the sick irony of what's going on with fossil fuels, demand for tar sands oil is lower than it was when the plan for the pipeline started, because oil prices have crashed and companies have stopped investing as much in tar sands projects in general. During this time, Shell has sold nearly half of its tar sands assets. ExxonMobil has written off 3.5 billion barrels of tar sands oil. And Trump, I really don't know if he's clueless or lying. He said on Friday that this is the greatest technology known to man or woman. Maybe to the men and women in Trump's White House, but normal people are not amazed by tar sands oil technology at this point.
Right, because this is entirely for the oil companies. If he was going after the American workers, you think it would create more jobs than, I think, what is it, 30 permanent jobs?
Yeah, a bunch of temporary jobs during the building. And then but pipelines replace people driving around in trucks, right? By their very nature, these projects destroy jobs. So the lies continue, and you should be aware of them as they take place. Today's program is made possible in part by Blue Apron, delivering fresh ingredients to your door for under $10 per person per meal. And with Blue Apron's freshness guarantee, you can be sure that every ingredient in your delivery will arrive ready to cook, or they will make it right. Blue Apron is the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. I've been a Blue Apron customer at this point for many, many months. Some of the meals available in April include spinach and fresh mozzarella pizza with olives, bell peppers, and ricotta, sweet and sour salmon with bok choy, carrot, and ginger fried rice, and Parmesan crusted chicken with creamy fettuccine and roasted broccoli. You can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free, of course, with free shipping, by going to blueapron.com/Pakman. That is blueapron.com/PAKMAN.